All right, let's talk about Day Pyaar Day 2. The sequel is finally here. The first movie was such a surprise hit. It managed to handle that tricky age gap romance with so much humor and real heart. So the big question is, does this follow-up actually live up to all the hype? Well, that's exactly what we're here to break down. So let's just get right to it. I know you're busy. You want to know, is this movie a weekend must-see, or is it something you can just wait to stream later? That is the exact question we are going to answer for you over the next few minutes. Okay, so the general consensus is in, and it's a bit of a mixed bag. But, and this is a big but, it ultimately delivers what audiences are calling paisa vasool. Now, that's a Hindi term that basically means you get your money's worth. It's a solid family entertainer. It's got some incredible highs and a few noticeable lows. The main takeaway here is that it's worth seeing, but it's probably good to know exactly what you're getting into. So, to really get why this film works, we have to look at its central twist. The sequel takes that age gap theme from the first movie and just flips the whole thing completely on its head. Ajay Devgn's character, Ashish, is still with the much younger Ayesha, who's played by Preet Singh. But this time around, his mission is to win over her family. Seems simple enough, right? Well, not exactly. The real obstacle isn't at all what you'd expect. And this is where things get brilliant. The core conflict, the challenge for Ashish, isn't some old-fashioned, disapproving parent. No way. It's Ayesha's father, Raji, played by the one and only R. Madhavan. And here's the kicker. Her dad is almost the exact same age as her boyfriend. I mean, can you imagine? That clever, super awkward setup becomes the engine for pretty much all the comedy and drama that follows. And that central conflict brings us to the single biggest talking point of this entire film. We're talking about the one performance that everyone, from critics to audiences, is just raving about.
Multiple reviews are straight up calling R. Madhavan the life of the film. It's unanimous. Seriously, if there's one reason people are saying you have to see this movie, his performance is it.
So what is it that makes his performance so special? Well, he completely steals the spotlight. His portrayal of this dad who is both progressive but also deeply conflicted is just effortless. He wants to be the cool, modern father, but he just can't shake how uncomfortable he is with his daughter dating a man his own age. And that internal battle is where the magic happens. The witty face-off between him and Ajay Devgan gives us the film's absolute sharpest comedic moments, but he also brings this real emotional anchor to the story that makes his character so relatable. But of course, it's not a one-man show. Ajay Devgan just slides right back into his role with that classic, world-weary, deadpan humor that plays so perfectly against Madhavan's charm. And Preet Singh is fantastic as the feisty Asha. She really stands her ground and refuses to be just a pawn in the guy's ego clash. The chemistry of the whole cast is just spot on. But, like we said, the film isn't perfect. The biggest criticism people have is an issue of pacing. It really creates what a lot of people are calling a film of two totally distinct halves. Okay, so the first half is widely described as a hilarious, breezy laugh riot. The jokes land, the situational comedy is super sharp, and it all just moves at this fantastic pace. But then, you get to the second half, and things get a bit sluggish. Reviews start using words like bloated and dragged, as the film kind of struggles to maintain that awesome momentum while it's trying to balance all the comedy and drama. But here's the good news. Just when you might start to feel like the film is losing its way a little bit, the climax swoops in and pulls it all back together. Critics agree that it ends on this strong, really effective emotional twist that provides a super satisfying conclusion and, honestly, makes the whole journey worthwhile. So, we've heard from the critics, but what about the audience? Let's take a look at the numbers to see how the public is responding. Because, let's be real, that's often the most important factor. And the audience verdict is really positive. People are giving it an average rating between 3.5 and 4 stars, and the word of mouth is strong. Folks are calling it a proper family entertainer. Commercially, it's off to a really solid start. An estimated opening day of around 7 to 8 crore rupees suggests that all that positive buzz from the public is translating directly into ticket sales, and that points towards a healthy, steady run at the box office. So let's put it all together in a quick snapshot. The star performances? Excellent, with R. Madhavan being the clear standout. The first half? Hilarious and breezy. The second half's pacing? Yeah, a little uneven, can feel a bit slow at times. But it all comes together with a strong and effective emotional climax. So the overall verdict is that it's a genuinely entertaining romantic comedy that totally delivers on its promise. So, how and when can you actually watch it? The film is in theaters right now, as we speak. But if you'd rather watch it from your couch, it's expected to hit Netflix sometime around January 2026.
So, what's the final call? Look, with standout performances and a first half that'll have you laughing out loud, it's a really strong contender for a fun trip to the movies. But with that sluggish middle, waiting to stream it is also a totally valid option. Now that you have the full breakdown, the choice is yours.